This is Counterpoint, and I'm your host, Tanya Granic Allen. We're back with our current events panel with lots of commentary on the latest headlines. We're going to discuss the recent shooting at Toronto synagogues and the U.S. consulate in Toronto. We'll dive into federal politics and the recent floor crossings, giving the federal Liberals a really good chance of a majority, especially as by-elections are underway, and what the Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is doing to push back against Carney, especially in regards to Trump and tariffs. And we'll cover the controversy surrounding Don Cherry's nomination to the Order of Canada. Why the outcry? Let's discuss that. Lots to get through. Joining me now is Michelle Simard, lawyer, privacy and cybersecurity specialist, and Mike Patton, a political commentator. Mike, Michelle, always a pleasure to have you on. So let's dive right in to Don Cherry and the Order of Canada. So this just kind of came out of the blue. I recognize he was recently awarded the Order of Ontario after we haven't heard much from him. So, Mike, why don't you unpack, maybe give a little bit of history for our viewers who may not be familiar with why some in society find him controversial?
Well, Don Cherry was a political coach who, for many years, did political analysis on Hockey Night in Canada. An intensely patriotic man. He almost invented modern patriotism in Canada during his short rants that he got to do on Hockey Night in Canada between periods every Saturday night. Now, he became very controversial because of some comments that were perceived to be racist or potentially anti-francophone. They were ambiguous. He talked about immigrants in a way that, referring to them as those people. And there was some perception many years ago that he was racist and got canceled from Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah, I remember that day, and I don't think I agreed with it. Correct me if I'm wrong, or actually, you don't even have to correct me. I know for a fact. Like his wife is, I believe, an immigrant. She's Ukrainian. Um, like, because he remarried. I remember even growing up. I wasn't a huge hockey fan. I later played, but I wasn't growing up. As a you know 8-year-old watching Hockey Night in Canada. But occasionally I would, and my father loved Don Cherry, and my father was like an immigrant of the '60s from Europe. And I don't know what it was about Don Cherry. My dad loved him. My dad loved him. But I appreciate that, especially those in Quebec, take issue with some of the comments Don Cherry has made. Do you think it's fair that they may actually hold a veto on him getting an Order of Canada, Michelle?
No, I don't think so because really at the end of the day, I understand. No, nowadays everyone's so vocal. We have social media, so realistically, you're always going to be polarizing to some group. You can't appease everybody. And really what they needed to figure out was like what was his intent? Kind of like what we do in law, right? Was his intent really was to harm people? And realistically it's not. As you look at some of the personal examples that he has in his life where it's just like is he really against immigrants? Like and many immigrants actually really liked him. Is he an epitome of what a patriotic Canadian is? I would say yes. I mean, he fought very hard for it. Do I think he deserves the Order of Canada? Yes, I do. The fact that he had to wait so long compared to many others who haven't got it, as we noted, Henry Morgenthaler got it, and I mean he was extremely controversial. So the way I look at it is this: yes, it's upsetting, of course, but we're always going to have people that we may disagree with. But then that's what we have in a pluralistic society. We have tolerance, and we have to recognize that some people, while they may have said some things, the question is, how does he feel about it now? We should ask him this question. And I can assure you, if he got to clarify himself, he would never say his intent was to harm people.
But has appointments like this, appointments to the Order of Canada, to justice benches, things like this, have they become too politicized? Like by nature, it is a political, like, somebody is obviously nominating and the government is writing off on it, signing off on it. But Mike, like how much should politics play in on this? I mean, if you're Carney, you're going to say, well, you know what, I need Quebec. If I decide to go to an election, if these by-elections don't turn out for me and I want my majority, I want to make sure Quebecers are happy. And if they're disgruntled, including conservatives, liberals, doesn't matter the political striping, I want them on side. Is this playing political football with an order of merit?
Of course it is. And these appointments, such as to the Order of Canada and any awards, should be one step removed from politics. And the fact is, Don Cherry was from an older generation, and he didn't use the correct language. I don't think he's a racist man, but yes, certainly politicians will take everything and try to make it political, but these things should be removed one step away. So people receive awards based on merit, and Don Cherry certainly merits it.
Okay, we'll be right back.